Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with my brother, and as many of you already know, I talk about real estate on this channel. Since it's spooky season, I figured we'd be talking about
Our
our
haunted
haunted house
house
experiences.
experiences. Well, to start off, my name is Matthew. Thank you for introducing me. It's in our grandma's house that we used to stay in. That was haunted.
What happened? I think it was during the
What
day.
happened? I
it
remember what happened.
was
Yeah.
during the day, right?
Yes.
It was during the day. It was just me and my brother, and I think we
Mm-hmm.
were alone in that whole house. And we're like ages, like what, like
You're old enough.
I was.
You're old enough. I was still pretty young.
We were alone, and we're watching. I want to say like either a scary movie or it was like
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Adventures or something,
Yeah.
right? It was one of those
Mm-hmm.
because afterwards we got the bright idea to like grab a phone and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, let's go ghost hunting." And so legit, we started going
Yeah.
around recording with our phone and being like, "If there's any spirits out here, please make a sign." Once we started doing this, we started hearing, we heard like a faucet turn on
Mm-hmm.
slowly, and then we heard like gushing water, and we're like,
Yeah.
"What the heck?" Because mind you, again, we
Yeah.
were by ourselves in this
Mm-hmm.
house, and so we started walking towards the restroom where it was, and the water was on. And so my brother I went in first.
No, yeah, yeah.
He went in first.
No, we
And
both went in at the same time. We both went in at the same time, and then we're like, and then I was literally mid sentence. I was like, "Oh my god, the water turned on by!" And I look, and then this mother is like, he's like literally already like halfway down the house, like running. I'm like, "Oh my god!" It was so scary.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've heard and seen stuff before. I think up until that point
Yeah.
already,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like one of the, like broad daytime. Like we were
Yeah.
actually asking for it, we are looking for it,
Yeah.
and then
It
that
happened so
happened.
quick. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
and it wasn't like oh, maybe it was like someone left the water around because it was
Yeah.
dripping. No, it was like full blast, like. And then I first seen it, I'm thinking in my head, "Oh, that." And so I took off, and then I hear my brother behind me going, running after me.
Because that reminds me also, me and my brother were also alone in the house, and what you call it, our stepmom was with us, but then she left to go get some groceries,
Oh,
and then I forget what we were doing. We want to go back into like the bedroom, and the bedroom is like in the very back of
back
that
of the house.
house. You have to go through the kitchen, and then in the kitchen there's this door, and you have to open up the door, and the door leads to the laundry room,
Mhm.
and then in the laundry room leads into like the bedroom. So it's like,
Yeah.
like a way to get to there. And so we wanted to go back to the bedroom for some reason, but
Mhm.
then the door was locked. It was like shut. And we're like, what the hell? Like, why is it locked? Like, who's in there?
Yeah.
And then we try opening it, and then it starts shaking. Like the doorknob starts shaking like very violently, and
Uh-huh.
then we're both grabbing it, and it
Yeah.
was like we're holding it, and it was like
You
shaking
could
us.
feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like
It was
it was like
pulling
shaking.
hard.
Yeah, it was like
Uh-huh.
it wasn't even shaking us while we're
Yeah.
trying to hold it, and we're like, oh my god, like we thought it was
Yeah.
our stepmom. We're like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like stop playing with us and stuff. But it kept on going on for a long time. We're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
we're like, okay,
Well,
like we got a little bit like weirded out, and like it got like awkward because we were like damn, like she's like taking this joke too far.
yeah.
And then
It
finally it
stopped.
stopped, and then like we were able to finally open it, like it
Uh-huh.
unlocked, and
Yeah.
then we looked inside the laundry room. And by the way, it's dark in there. It's like because
Yeah.
it had like no windows. So we looked in the laundry room and we saw nothing, and we looked in the bedroom and we
Yeah.
saw there was nothing. There was no one
Mhm.
in there.
Yeah.
Then we got so scared, we ran.
Yeah.
We ran out, and then literally like, right
Yeah.
when we went into like the
The
living
living
room,
room.
she came in with
Yeah. With
bags of groceries.
groceries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Were you in there?"
There.
And she's like, "No." And
No.
we told her what happened, and she kind of like told us to ignore it because she
Yeah.
loves there. I mean, she doesn't want to be
Yeah.
freaked out.
Yeah.
A little history on the house is that there was this
Mhm.
father, and he had a daughter and son, and he killed both of them.
Oh
Yeah, he
yeah.
killed both of
He
them there.
he came
He
off and
he well, he killed one of them in the bathroom where the faucet
faucet turned on.
and then he killed the other one in the
Closet
closet.
of the uncle that's like right next to the bathroom.
Mhm.
and I think they had a picture
You found a picture
of the
of the boy.
boy, right?
Yeah.
Was that the boy?
Hmm.
And our tia had it, and she like threw it away. Or she told him to throw it
Yeah.
away because they like gave her bad like vibes and
Yeah.
everything, bad juju.
Yeah. Have you
Another
ever heard a voice that sounded similar to your brother's but wasn't your brother's?
what?
Like that.
Main house
Okay.
we kind of grew up
Yeah,
in.
the main house we grew
Grew
up
up
in was
in,
this
which
kind of,
was our mom's house, and
yeah.
that one was also
It was haunted, but it wasn't as haunted.
like people heard stuff too. Even because at one point we moved out, remember,
Mm-hmm.
and
Or like family.
our family used it,
Mm-hmm.
and they would talk about how they would hear like a woman crying from
Mm-hmm.
like the outside, and so when they would go check on the outside, it sounded like it was coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
And so they were like, "What the hell?" One of the times we were living there, and this was we were like old too, or like
Mm-hmm.
okay for me at least, I was old because I was in college already, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh yeah.
I was studying on the table.
Uh-huh.
I knew he was in his bedroom because he
Yeah.
talked about, "Oh, I'm tired" or whatever, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to sleep. And a few hours already passed since then, and I'm over there on the table doing my homework, and I
Mm-hmm.
hear,
Hey, come in.
or no,
I
no,
guess.
Hey, come over here.
like legit his voice, like the way he talks, the way he
Oh
sounds
my
right now, it sounds like
god.
that. But imagine that, but kind of like what's it called? Not
Monotone?
like monotone, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like also like being like very like trying to like keep it like holding back, not too loud, like weird, like that.
Oh, it's so freaky. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.
And so I was like, stop, right? Because it was like you get scared, you're like, stop. And so I did that. I was like, stop. And I looked and I was like, Matthew, stop playing. And in my head, it was already processing, like, I know he's not over there, but I was still kind of like, quit it. And so I went and I checked. Of course, nobody was over there.
Mm-hmm.
I got up and I went to his bedroom and I opened the door and he was asleep. He was like, lights were off. He had his humidifier going on. Like, he was dead asleep. And yeah, that was like one of the times. And then
Mhm.
before that, though, he actually heard a voice.
I don't know.
Or was that before or after?
I heard your voice.
What the
Wait, are you talking about mom's voice?
mom's voice? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you too.
Okay. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, before that, yeah. Because I think whenever he came up with me with that, I told him what I heard, was
Mhm.
that I was in my bedroom, and it was during the daytime, and I heard my mom singing. I was like, I thought she left, and so then I kept on hearing her singing. So then I like turned off my phone, or I got off my phone, and then I went to go check, and of course she was gone, and I was the only one in the house. I was just kind of like
Yeah.
freaked out a bit because I'm like what what type of shit is this? Like
Fucking
and so then yeah. And then the other time that I heard a voice was this year actually. This year. And
Oh
yeah, this one
yeah,
was
I
a little bit
remember
scarier.
now. But this one wasn't okay. This one
Okay,
wasn't at
a house.
our house. It
Yeah,
was
it's
at
whenever we used to have an apartment together earlier
uh-huh.
this year. And
Yeah.
so
Oh, shit.
and so I would so it was in the morning too.
Uh-huh.
It was in the morning, and um the dogs are in the crates or whatever, and because I was walking the dogs, and so both of them were in the crate. I think it was like Scruffy and Rufus. I was like walking Sophie,
Mhm.
and I was like down the hall,
Yeah.
and then I could hear the dogs barking, and I was like, oh my god. And these motherfuckers are gone.
Yeah.
David and his girlfriend are
Yeah.
gone. And so I'm walking, and then I hear David's voice like talking to Scruffy saying,
Scruffy, Scruffy.
and I was like, and Scruffy got quiet, like he listened, and I was like, and it sounded weird too. It sounded monotone too. It
Ah.
sounded monotone. Like it didn't sound. It just sounded like you were trying to be creepy.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, what the fuck? And then I knew that he was gone, so I was scared to like go inside. And so I was just like, maybe I was like, maybe I misheard, or like maybe I heard like an other like apartment unit.
Uh-huh.
But then whenever I was like outside the door, I heard again like,
Scruffy, Scruffy.
and I was like, what the fuck? And so I
Hell
opened up the
no.
door, and then I checked, and of course there was no one in there. And I think I was on the phone with my mom or with you.
You called me, but I don't know if you're on the phone with mom before or not.
I think I was on the phone with my mom. I'm not sure. I was on the phone with someone, and I had like a kitchen knife because I thought that someone was inside the house, like or inside the apartment. Like it really sounded like
Yeah.
someone was in there, and I was like, even though it sounded like my brother, it could be like someone else. But then,
Yeah.
how would like the intruder know like our dog's names at the same time? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was just weird. And but of course, like I checked, and there was no one there.
But didn't you say you also hear like it say like good boy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay, there you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was like-
I knew there was something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I also heard him. I was also. I think it was the second time
Yeah.
I heard David say like,
Good boy, Scruffy, good boy.
"Oh my."
I think before that, I heard Sam's voice, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I remember I just told you.
And
So-
no, Sam heard her voice too.
And so
Yeah,
okay, so it
yeah.
was me and my girlfriend Sam, and she was in. We're both in the bedroom, and I got up to go get something from the kitchen.
Mhm.
But so I went from the bedroom
Mhm.
all to the kitchen. I could still see Sam, and then I went around the corner,
Mhm.
and Sam was talking to me, blah blah. She stopped because I was like trying to get
Mhm.
stuff. People were being loud, and then I heard, "Hey babe, hey babe,"
Mhm.
and it sounded just like her, but again, being weird, like a weird
Yeah.
like voice. And so I was like, "Yeah," and she was
Oh.
like, and then Sam called back and was like, "I didn't say anything." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I didn't say that." She was like, "I heard it though." I was like, "You're lying."
Oh my
I was like, "No
God.
way," because it really like she was right there. I was like, "She's messing with me,"
Yeah.
and she's like, I promise you that wasn't me." I was like,
Yeah.
"No freaking way, dude."
Yeah.
And the fact that we both heard it, and it was like, "Hey babe, hey, hey babe," like very like her voice, and she heard it from the hall, and I heard it
Mhm.
coming from the hall, but I of course I thought it was coming from the bedroom,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was just kind of like that. So we heard that, and then maybe like a few months later, that's when you heard my
Yeah,
voice, right? Because
yeah.
we talked about it, we told you, yeah, it
Be
is.
careful what houses you buy.
And by exactly. They actually, speaking of
Yeah.
that though, the real estate school, they talk about haunted houses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember you telling me.
So they
Yeah.
it's called stigmatized. So they'll be like the reason why whenever a realtor gets a new property to sell
Mhm.
or whatever, they'll talk about how like a haunting or allegedly they'll put allegedly haunting is considered a stigmatized house because there's a lot of stigma stopping a person from buying that house because they feel like it's haunted or someone that's selling it says like
Mhm.
stuff is happening so it's
Yeah,
haunted.
or like a murder happened there or
So
something.
the fact that they have to put that in like a real estate schooling
Yeah.
means it happens well enough to where it's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, you know what? Whether it's true or not, I mean, it's a
just
common
like
experience.
yeah. It's just
in real
like it's
estate.
crazy that it happens
Uh-huh.
like so like often that they had to put it in the schooling about
Exactly.
school about
Yeah.
houses. Like it's
And
weird.
they like quiz you on it and test me on it.
Yeah,
So it's
like-
kind of like what? That's pretty much our little story time for today. We'll probably if this blows up or even not, I mean, we'll
Yeah,
probably make another
one,
video.
yeah.
Yeah, for like the spooky season and
Mhm.
stuff. Again, my channel's about real estate,
Mhm.
but I mean, an apartment, houses, I mean, that are, even though there's like hauntings or
Mhm.
whatever, it has to do with real estate.
Yeah.
So that's why I figured it'll be fun to do a little spooky
Yeah, a little fun.
real estate
Yeah.
story time.
It'll be
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
that's pretty much it.